Over the last several weeks, we've been to various different motorcycle shows, haven't we? You know, the International Motorcycle and Scooter Show, we've been to the old classic stuff. So we thought, by way of a change, we'd bring you to Trenton Gardens here in Staffordshire and come to a dirt bike show. Why not? So, you guys who do like those dirty weekends away, you could say we're not leaving you out for a change. If I can fight my way through the crowds here, there's loads of them, isn't there? But you don't think for a minute I'm going to stand outside all day in the freezing cold? Good, no, because there's even more stands inside. Look at that, it's like a caged animal. But the reason they're behind there is, as it is with a lot of helmets, when you have them individually painted, they're worth a fortune. I mean, you can pay £300 and £400 for a fancy paint job on your own road helmet. But there are people who will indeed create a beautiful bit of artwork like that for an awful lot less money. For example, this one was less than £200 to be done. There are some beautiful paint jobs. They'll obviously do them on your road helmet, but seeing as we're at an off-road show, then this is obviously an off-road helmet. Now, aye, there's a bit of a fancy paint job, if ever there was, with the brains oozing as well. And that will cost you just a little bit over 200 quid. Extremely good value for money. Now, like I say, when you come to the old bike shows, you can buy all sorts of fancy colourful gear, like crash helmets and boots and gloves and all sorts. But the dark black stuff like these looks miserable, but it's a necessity. You do need to buy a tyre to use on your machine. Well, you can come here and buy these jelly bow tyres at exactly the right price, buy a whole year's supply for peanuts. And there's all sorts of different types with different lumps on it. Even stuff like this, look at that. That's a snow and ice tyre for Sweden and the likes, with studs on it, metal studs. I wonder if it's the same type that David Beckham uses. Now, you know I'm the expert on two wheels in the clothing department and everything, and I feel I should put my knowledge forward for Angel here. That t-shirt doesn't fit you, get your death code. Now get it off, come on.
Okay, if I have to.
I'm afraid you do. Be rude not to, as the saying goes. Oh, goodness sake, cover yourself up, girl. Put a coat on for goodness. You'll get your death cold. Oh. Now, the common denominating thing at a dirt bike show would actually be them, the tyres. Most of them have got lumps on. They belong to various different types of bikes though. I mean, take this one for example. This is a trials bike. This is a Bultaco Circo. We actually have a British guy who came fourth in the world on one of these things. That's Graham Jarvis. We've seen him ourselves on two wheels doing the indoor arena as well. The man's a star. A trials bike's somewhat different to most machines, because where you normally go up to the owner of the machine and say, hey mister, how fast will it go? Well, they don't go very fast. But that's not their intention. They've got a very, very high ground clearance. They're short, they're light, and if you're in the right hands, they go up mountainous things. They'll go over roofs of houses if the right man's riding it. If I'm riding it, I have trouble getting up a curb edging. They come in various different engine sizes and various different sizes. In fact, I do believe they even do one to fit me. So there's me on a little trials bike, of which I can get my leg over, and something I have a bit of trouble doing, getting my leg over that is, on a motocross bike. Because the seat height on these things is decidedly high. This is slightly kidology because it's off the ground, but they are very, very high. They've also got loads of suspension movement. They've also got different knobbies on the tyres, because the difference is, a motocross machine, they want them to go very, very quick. This is a KTM 125, and in the hands of Jamie Dobb, who is a British guy, he is very, very quick because he is our 125 world champion on a bike not dissimilar to this. So I've shown you a trials bike and I've shown you a motocross bike. Well, this is a sort of bit in between. This is an enduro machine. Now, quite a lot of road bike riders out there will know a trail bike. Trail bikes are sort of half road, half off-road, lumpy tyres and a road legal. Well, this is the next level. This is an enduro bike. This, in fact, is a Husaberg made in Sweden, and these machines have won the Enduro Championship in Europe. So obviously it's a good bit of kit. Now, it's road legal, or it would be road legal if you placed it on the road. They do have an ignition switch, they do have a speedo, and they also have lights on them as well. They're an awesome bit of kit. Very, very powerful, very, very quick, and they need to be used by an able rider, you might say. So it's no good me having a go, is it? Now you may recognise them tyres and think they belong to a trials bike. Well, not strictly true, although not very dissimilar. They actually belong to a Psychlo trials bikes. These are Megamos made in Spain. And the difference is, of course, you ain't got no engine. You need to pedal them. And we have a lot of youthful chaps riding them because they've got the energy, haven't they? After all, it's a big thing, you know, in Europe, a lot of people riding them. And it's moving over to the UK. They do all sorts of tricks on them and they do ride in proper competitions as well. Now, as I said, the difference is you haven't got an engine, and my knees are just a bit tired nowadays, you know, due to motocross and trials over the years. So I think I'll stick to the ones with the engine where you just press the button and ride away. Now, looking at that big fat tyre on that wheel, a lovely smooth one, you'd be mistaken, very easily mistaken if you thought it was a road bike. Well, you're wrong, because it isn't a road bike, it's a supermoto. This is a KTM 520 supermoto, a fancy bit of kit. The fact is, when these are used properly in the right hands, they're awesome. And in fact, after the break, that means you've got to stay exactly where you are. We're going to bring you some of these bikes used in supermoto and some trials.